Oh, y'all. Why do I feel like I need the Law and Order music right now? Let me see if anybody can. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. I don't even know if the internet is working in this bad boy. I can't tell if the internet is working. Okay, there we go. Hey y'all, y'all can hear me? All right. I can't tell because I'm using the app on my phone. Y'all, I am in Turkey right now. I don't know if you can see the background. I am in the lounge in the business center, okay? I'm in the business center, and I was like, just kind of like trying to wait and see what was going on with Karen, right? Like, cause I landed probably about maybe 3 hours ago. So I had to get something to eat, y'all know, all the stuff. And so once I ate and I was able to get like a little meeting room, I had actually done a whole video. I had done a whole video talking about just some stuff that was going on with Karen. But y'all, let's get into this verdict, okay? First things first, I got to shout out to Queens of Bravo. I got to shout out to my girl, Taria, from the What Else Is Going On podcast, because I think Taria might have been at the courthouse, baby. Taria might have been down to the courthouse. So she was there while the news was breaking. So y'all know I'm going to have to call her after I get off the line with y'all and have a good old ponderosa. I'm trying to make sure the lighting is good. Y'all can see me, right? Okay. No, I'm not getting my hair transplanted. I'm on a layover. No. Okay. No. Ain't nothing in the back of my head. I am not getting, no, I ain't got nothing. Okay. Let me show you. All right. Nothing on the head. The reason I'm in Turkey is because I'm on a layover on my way to Thailand. Am I getting a hair? No, but I have seen quite a few people with the bandages on the back of their heads. So I do know this is the spot. Okay, this is the spot. Okay, so, but before I do that, before I dive too much further into it, I want to also pull up what we got from our people at Fox 5. All right, so essentially, Karen, the judge has sentenced Karen to 2 years with 1 year suspended, okay? With 1 year suspended. Now, the prosecutor, y'all, if I was getting a surgery over here, I would tell y'all, trust and believe me, I would tell you, I would let you know, because I would let you know exactly how it was, and I would chronicle it on my YouTube channel, on my personal page. Believe it. Okay, so anyway, I thought the prosecutor was really just asking for like 6 months, right? That's what they were requesting, I thought. But then to see that, no, baby, they gave the max 2 years. 1 year is suspended. So that means that she gonna be gone for a year. Now she might maybe get out earlier for like good behavior or something like that. But you know, for me, my biggest question is going to be obviously what's gonna happen with her and the show, right? I mean, and then, you know, how is her family going to receive this? I guess for me, I wasn't expecting her to get much jail time at all, but they are like, oh no, we gonna give it to you. So, I mean, I feel bad for her family, you know, her friends, and it's, you know what I was thinking the other day? It's unfortunate to me that she took the stance that she did with Dr. Wendy when she gave that sort of speech from her living room for the Potomac reunion, and the way she kind of like glossed over Dr. Wendy's support of her, because I did feel like out of all of those ladies there, that Wendy did have her best interest at heart. I feel like out of all the people there, I feel like Wendy really did go to bat for her. And so I just, you know, it just makes me reflect on her very dismissive, sort of nose in the air, sort of like response that I just felt like I would have thought would have been a bit more, I don't want to say humble, but I just would have expected something different, especially seeing the previous video where she was literally in tears in that same, you know, in you know, kind of filming. So I don't know. Busy B says they're gonna do Karen like they did Lil' Kim before she went in to do her time. I don't know. You know what's, and that's great, and that's what's interesting is, but I don't know that they will. I don't even know that her attorneys these new attorneys would allow her to film before she goes in, unless they try to make it into another Karen sort of special. You know what I'm saying? Like they kind of, I could, yeah, I guess I don't see. Here's the thing. I don't put anything past a business or a corporation. If there is the potential for money to be made, I do not put anything past it. So could we see something like that? Maybe. Just knowing the things that I know, I just wouldn't be, it wouldn't shock me. It really wouldn't shock me. And it wouldn't shock me if she accepted it, because at this point she's been sentenced. So what they're gonna do, you know, I mean, it could impact her ability to get out early. My estimation is that she does 6 months, maybe. If she goes in, and I think if she's does what she needs to do, I feel like we could see her out sooner than later. Somebody said she's in custody now. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. All I know is that this is not good. And again, I do wonder how it's going to impact the people on the show. Hopefully, Ebony says, can she get a pardon? I don't think so in this instance, but because I just feel like once they have it's been so much that has happened. I just think that this was final. This was final. But I could see her getting out early. Because if they keep shortening Jen Shaw's sentence, I guarantee you they're probably gonna shorten that sentence. I mean, yeah, true. I mean, two to tango, life will go on. Absolutely, it will. But at the end of the day, too, also, you know, that's a big thing. Okay, that's a huge thing, and this is your fourth one. So, you know, even doing 6 months, that's a long time. A lot changes in 6 months around here these days. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think if she had just taken a different approach throughout the year on the show, has she been more contrite? I feel like has she been more like showed expressions of remorse and didn't do the grand dame defense. I feel like if she just showed just some level of, I can't believe this has happened to me. There is so much more at play here than what you guys know. Even if she didn't want to say what happened or what she was, you know, what was really going on, she could have alluded to, I have an issue that I am working on. Had she gone to a recovery center much earlier in the process, you never know. I mean, so many other things could have changed all of this, right? So many things could have changed all of this. I have people texting me literally right now about this. I think it's about this, but I see some text coming through. So yeah, y'all, I am in the Turkey. Okay. I'm in Istanbul, in case you wanted to know. No, I am not getting a hair transplant, surgery, or anything like that today. I am simply here on a layover, and I'm in a business meeting room, and this was like the perfect space for me to kind of come. I had done a video where I had talked about a plea that she had made, and I want to talk to you guys about that plea because this was posted to the Bravo Shade Room. I'm gonna close some of these out. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second to close some of these out. I'll leave that one up. But I want to bring up this plea. I don't know, had y'all seen this? I'm going to get into what this actually says. And I want to shout out to the Bravo Shade Room because this is what I saw earlier that I was doing my video on. Basically, you know, according to court documents obtained by In Touch, Karen had asked a Maryland judge to go soft on her at her sentencing scheduled for today. Karen had argued that the stress of losing her parents and providing responsible leadership on the Real Housewives of Potomac led to her taking more antidepressants, and she believed this played a role in her being arrested for driving under the influence. So if the headline, to me, I'm not really gonna touch on the withdrawals aspect of this, but what I will talk about is the responsible leadership portion of it. And here's the thing with that for me. Thank you, Tia. Thank you for the super chat. You eat some good food. Yeah, boo. Yes, I have. I have had some great Turkish food. Can't wait to turn up next week in Thailand. Yes, boo. The team missed you already. Rich gang, rich life. Rich life in the building. Thank you, Tia. I don't know how to put the comment on the screen, so I would put it up if I could, but I'm using this app and it doesn't allow me to do that. All right, so shout out to you, Tia. So responsible, what does she call it? She calls it responsible leadership. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to mean. I mean, earlier I did say that I felt like Karen was delivering a masterclass on how to be a housewife to some of the new ladies earlier this season. I said it maybe around the first or second or third episode, definitely when they got to Lake Norman. But here's the thing with that. Yes, y'all, hit those likes. Thank you, Missy. I appreciate you. Here's the thing with that situation for me that's bothersome. And I think a lot of you guys will know exactly what I mean when I say this, because I'm sure if you look at your own lives and we look at jobs that we've had in the past, or situations or relationships that we've had in the past, if you're having to medicate your way through this situation, if you're having to We got another super chat. Thank you. Simply Smart says, honestly, this being her 4th DUI, don't know how she would have gotten out of jail time. As much as we love her, if this was regular Jane Doe, we would have wanted her under the jail. Thank you for that super chat, Shamar. I can't highlight them for some reason in this app. Sorry, y'all. But I do see them. Yeah, Auntie Eva, Karen was reaching for that responsible leadership. I kind of understand where she was going with that, but I do think that the word responsible is an interesting term. Leadership, I can definitely, I'm with you on that one, because I think her and Gizelle are kind of considered leaders. Honestly, I would probably say after this reunion, Gizelle and Wendy, hold on, sorry, y'all. Giselle and Wendy are probably the leading ladies at this point. But if you are in a job or a situation where you are now having to heavily rely on antidepressants in order to make it through, then I'm just going to be very real with you. That's probably not the healthiest place for you to be. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a counselor. I am just simply someone who is trying to also understand mental health better. And what I firmly believe is that if you are having to, again, continuously medicate and take these medications just to get through, then this is not the job for you. I just can't. And so then the question becomes, if that's her defense for herself for having to take the antidepressants, is it responsible then to even bring her back as an employer? Well, technically she's a consultant. I'm sure she's more of a contractor, because I don't think she's technically a W-2 employee of the company. So would you then bring someone back who, in order to even get through this situation, is having to heavily rely on these medications? I think we've actually heard something about this before from like Bethany, that people are drinking, their way through this job as a reality TV personality. But I do think also too, if that's where you are and it's not healthy, then who's responsible? Who then is responsible in leadership for saying you need a break? So, I think for me, I am rooting for Karen to be better for Karen. Whether, I don't know if that means that coming back to the show is better for Karen. It may be good for our entertainment, but is it better for Karen as a person? And then that also lends itself to, okay, as she's in for her 6 months to a year or however long it ends up being, who will she be when she comes out? Will she want to do this anymore? And so I think that this, to be honest with you, is really just I think it has to serve as a wake-up call for her, for viewers of the show, for the network, and just for people who are in spaces where let's just talk real talk. Does it even spiritually align for her at this point? I mean, is this like the universe, like God, the universe way of saying like this ain't where you need to be? That's the question that I would be asking myself at this very moment. I would be asking myself that question. Like, okay, this might be the sign that I needed to go, So I don't know, but that's what I was doing my video on earlier. Because I thought it was, while we were waiting for this verdict, I thought it would be interesting to talk about. The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is this real quick before we go, because I think it's like champagne o'clock or something. But okay, so real quick, I don't know if y'all saw this earlier or not. It was on the Neighborhood Talk. I think I saw it maybe on the Jasmine brand as well. You know, Gizelle and Robin, I'm sure they're going to have a field day with this Karen situation. Speaking of Potomac, I am sure they are. The next episode of Reasonably Shady is probably being filmed right at this moment. And I'll be interested to see what they have to say about it, especially considering how heavily Karen thanked Gizelle during the reunion, which was very surprising to me. Not surprising that she would thank her, because if Gizelle reached out to her, I'm sure Gizelle really did mean it. Because I think ultimately, you know, they're all still human. But I would just be interested to see, once now Karen, now that Gizelle is seated with Robin, what will they have to say? Will this be a laughing matter for them, or will this be a moment of, you know, sincere emotion? Who knows? And I only ask that because we know that Karen has had a frenemyship with Gizelle, and mostly a enemyship with, and I just made that up, okay? Like, but not so good terms with Robin. All right, so let me ask y'all a question. Robin and Gizelle say on the Reasonably Shady podcast that Married to Medicine is feeling overproduced. Okay? And she, you know, Gizelle really called it messy. Robin is just kind of chiming in like, okay, yep, not a doctor. Why is they there? And here's the thing. This is my thought process about the whole situation with Gizelle kind of chiming in on this. It's very interesting to me because, you know, Gizelle has been accused in the past of, you know, sort of having her hand in, you know, maneuvering chess pieces on the board, you know, before a season starts, right? You know, we've heard that since back in season 5 when Candace did that live and she talked about how Gizelle and some people had a meeting about, you know, Monique and all of that. So then we also saw it in action with Gizelle and Ashley talking about that situation with Dr. Wendy's husband, Eddie, several times on camera, to almost like seeming like either production wanted us to see it, like see how many times she talked about it, or to see, or to show that she is kind of creating some controversy. Now, you know, the Gizelle that we're seeing today is definitely very different. So maybe she has learned from those experiences. But it does echo a sentiment that I thought about the whole situation with bringing Apollo on the trip, because that's really where she talked about it feeling overproduced. She basically says that, you know, having Apollo and Shireen there, it just felt like it was just being messy for the sake of being messy. And I said to myself, well, you know what? There's an element of it of what she said that I definitely agree with. Because I told y'all in my last video, and I was very passionate about it. I was probably a little too passionate in my last video. So I gotta apologize for that. I'm gonna apologize to y'all for that, because I had reached like a breaking point, like mentally, and I needed a vacation. Simply Shamar says Married to Medicine too messy. All the messy storylines that they have tried to low-key introduce with the other women on Real Housewives of Potomac. Pot, kettle, black, ma'am, cut the mic. Thank you for the super chat, Shamar. So that's what I was saying too. But what I will say is this. I mean, I felt like having Apollo there, if the real intent was to show exes what getting along could look like, then why didn't y'all keep Apollo and Shireen there? Because it almost feels like if you didn't have Phaedra there, then you really didn't need Apollo there. And so for me, I just kind of feel like if y'all was really about embracing Apollo and his wife, y'all would have kept them there instead of dismissing them to Miami. As soon as Phaedra left, they was like, okay, well, let me get some tea from y'all and we're going to send y'all on y'all way. It's like, why? Like, why bring them other than to, like, get at Phaedra or to make something happen with Phaedra? Because we know that they felt like Phaedra felt like she was above the show. So it just felt to me, I get it. Gizelle even said she felt sorry for Phaedra, which was interesting to me because I was like, we know who it was rumored was supposed to be Mr. Chocolate back in the day. So it's interesting that Gizelle was feeling sorry for Phaedra. But if Gizelle was feeling sorry for Phaedra, now that is some stuff right there. Okay? That is some stuff right there. So, and it's also interesting that Gizelle is calling out not only the cast, now she's calling, but in doing this, she calls out the production company and she calls out the network, because that is, the network puts it out, the producers produced it, or either she's saying that the cast is overproducing. So I don't know which one she's really getting at, but I just found it interesting that she was commenting on it in this way. She does go on to say that she loves the show, but she also said, well, y'all know I love me some mess and I love me some Love and Hip Hop. So it was kind of almost equating Love and Hip Hop and Married to Medicine. It's just interesting. It was an interesting comparison. You got to listen to the clip. I unfortunately don't have it right now because I'm trying to be live, but I just thought that was fascinating that she is calling out Married to Medicine for their overproduced mess, especially when we have seen some mess being produced on Potomac as well. Okay? I thought that was funny, but maybe because Gizelle is now in a very new state, we have seen a changed and a different Gizelle. I don't know. Maybe she feels different. Born to be Wild, thank you for the super chat, says, hello, Richie. I was a bit disappointed in you saying that you were feeling sorry for Sweet Tea. Are we forgetting that Quad went through the same thing? Can we roll the tapes back? Let's be real about Dr. G. Okay, let me address that. First of all, thank you for the super chat. Two things. Even Quad says she felt for Sweet Tea. So why would I not feel for Sweet Tea in that moment? I guess I don't feel like, why would I not? I'm talking about the situation that's happening in this moment. So, and because I am a very long time reviewer of Married to Medicine, I have reviewed this show for a long time, while Dr. G and Quad were going through their drama. So it's not necessarily a fair assessment of me to say that I didn't feel sorry for her then. I am talking simply about what I witnessed in the episode, and why would I not feel sorry for somebody that is being spoken to in that way? Quad's pain does not negate Sweet Tea's pain. They are two different women who have experienced the same man, but we are talking about two different time periods. So what I felt in that moment for Quad, that I've actually done reviews on with AfterBuzz TV way back in the day, again, or even up until through 2019 when I started my own channel, does not mean that I don't feel the same level of empathy for Quad. I'm still mad for Quad from when they kicked her off the trip last year, and I'm the only one still mad. Quad ain't even mad about that. I'm still mad at all them girls for kicking her off the trip and icing her out. So I just don't feel like I can't feel for both people because I can. And I just think that the situation, I go situation by situation, and I go episode by episode, and that's where it is. And the thing about it is, I think some people sometimes mistake what I do and how I do it. In reviewing these shows, it would be a mistake to assume that I don't like someone, because the way I look at these shows is like this. I'm here for all the people on the shows, for the most part, okay? Until you do something that I feel like is super toxic. Thank you, Rue Lee. Thank you so much, Rue Lei. I appreciate you for becoming a member. But I don't have those thoughts of being team this person or team that person, because it's based on the situation. If it's a certain situation and I feel like a certain person is being mistreated, then I say how I feel about it. Does that mean that I hate any of the other cast members? No, I don't do that. I don't. And let me tell you why I don't. The reason why I don't hate any of these cast members is because they give me something to do. Without them doing the mess that they do, I wouldn't have nothing to talk about on this channel. So I exist in a state of gratitude, which is why most shows, when I review them, I at least give it an 8. I give you an 8 because you showed up to work. Okay? I give you an 8 because you are providing me with entertainment that offers me the opportunity to be here in this space. So the way I work is unique to me. I exist in this space because I am grateful to the people who open up their lives, which I know is hard because I've done it. Not as necessarily in as long as a capacity that they've done it as they're doing it, but I exist in a space of appreciation, and I think a lot of them know that. So it always baffles me, and I'm not speaking about your comment. It always baffles me when I see people saying, well, you don't like so-and-so, you can't stand Kenya, you don't like so-and-so. And I'm like, how would you don't know what I like or what I don't like in my head. You're not in my mind. I'm simply talking about the situation at hand. And we all have to be emotionally equipped and mentally sound enough to recognize that these are situational instances that we are commenting on. So to bring it back home, I can love Quad and I can also love Sweet Tea. I don't have to not feel sorry for one to feel sorry for the other. So yeah, I mean, I just want to make that clear. This is something that I think about a lot because I see comments, a lot about, oh, you don't support this person or you don't like this person. And that's just not who I am. And I would like to think that for those of you guys who have been here with me long enough, you understand that, because I know some of the people that I'm talking about understand it. Exactly. It's Kev. It's compassion. Like, I try to lead with compassion, because if I don't, then who's gonna have compassion for me when I need it? You understand what I'm saying? Like, and the older you get, you just realize people gonna F up. People are going to F up. You're gonna F up. And when you do, would you not want that some level of compassion for you? So I think we can call situations out, but that doesn't mean that we throw the baby away with the bathwater. So I think that's what that's really where we are with that discussion. I hope that answered it. I want to thank you for the super chat. I appreciate when people can express themselves. That's what this channel is about. But I hope that clarified it. Anyway, so that's it. That's all I got for y'all for right now. I'm going to work on this Turkish Airlines vlog, and if anything else pops off, you know, I will be back. I will be back if I can find another meeting space. I will be back. But anyway, so yeah, just try to operate from a space of like grace and compassion, because at some point in time you're going to need it, and you're going to want people to give you that when you need it too. And if we put a microscope on any of our lives, we all might find ourselves in positions where we say, do some effed up stuff. And we look back at it and we think, dang, that was effed up, you know? So, and it's situational as well. Like, it's circumstantial. It's like, it's a fine line that we walk when we comment on these shows. And I try to make sure I walk that line as best I can. So anyway, that's the tea that I got for y'all for right now. Make sure you guys keep it locked to the channel. Thank you for tuning in and tapping in while I'm here in Istanbul. I will let you guys know when I make it safely to my destination. And with that being said, I will catch y'all in the next video.